Hey, BookTube, what's going on? So I'm a part of the Recognitions reading group online. It sounds like our numbers are increasing, which is awesome. Now I'm pretty new to the whole Bookstagram and Book Twitter community, so I'm not really sure how these group reads work, but don't care, whatever they look like. I mean, I just decided to make a video here because I've kind of surged ahead on my own, and I'm really passionate about things and I feel compelled to share. So I'm not going to spoil anything for you today. I just want to read a little excerpt from where I'm at and share some of my thoughts. Now, on that note, you guys, if anyone has the inclination to meet over Google Meet or Zoom or whatever, please hit me up on Instagram or Twitter and message me, and I'd love to get together and visit or just, talk about this book, because there's lots we could talk about. And I love meeting you people. I would love that. So message me. We should do something like that. Even 2, 3, 4, 5 of us. It would be great. Otherwise, again, I'm not sure what this group read would look like, but I just wanted to kind of share this one section I just finished here. This book. I mean, wow. Listen, I started this 4 or 5 years ago, the Recognitions. And again, I'm just struck by what a different reader I am after going through it this time. I'm going to sound pretentious. I feel really self-conscious about that because I'm constantly going on and on about the books I'm reading. But I had no clue how beautiful this book is. It is masterful. William Gaddis is a master. He is so good at getting into the psyche of the human mind, and he really has an understanding of human relationships and the dynamic of human interaction, among other things. We all know about his ability with dialogue, and no doubt the dialogue that's been in this so far has been awesome, pretty easy to follow, and just amazing. So I am utterly riveted. Now, I sent out a tweet last week indicating that I would be jumping ahead of the group for a couple of reasons. I'm a very slow reader, first of all, and I knew right away that I wanted to go really, really slow with this and just take in everything that it had to offer. So I'm going really slow. I'm incorporating a great deal of marginalia, and I'm really, really engaging with the text. But I am on page 112. I've been going into work to read in the mornings a little bit, and I'm just kind of skedaddling along. Now, I will slow down definitely and engage with the group, whatever that looks like, as I said. So today, I just want to read this passage to you and talk about a couple of things it made me think of because it blew my mind. I read it this morning and slowly and was just struck by so many different things. My mind was going in a bunch of different directions. And then I backed up and I read it 2 more times, just marveled at it. So I just really briefly here, I'm not going to spoil anything for you in this video, you guys. This is one of those beautiful pieces of art that is absolutely unspoilable. Now, when I read this part, it's from Wyatt's character. Just a little bit of context and background before I do it. Now, as I said, William Gaddis really has an understanding of human interaction. The writing is incredible. Now, this section, I'm on section 3, partway through it, and it's dealing with Wyatt and his wife Esther and their whole relationship. They're trying to connect with one another. They're married and they're struggling. She is trying to understand him and vice versa, and they're not jiving. And again, some of the passages are you just really connect with them. Now, first of all, I was struck by, I don't know how many of you are married people, but how different creatures men and women are. And I say this as a very happily married family man, but there's something about us that is just utterly different. And with Wyatt here, he is so disconnected from his wife, and his wife talks about wanting to just be happy and all this, and he's just not there. So a little bit of context, as I said, his wife indicates that she has some interest in being a writer, and she's been doing some writing, and this following part is Wyatt's response to her. Now, there's that disconnect between men and women and Wyatt and Esther here. But then he goes on to explain in this passage, as I understood it, he's referring to, I guess, the fragility of moments in our lives. And I kept thinking about this concept of mono, no aware, that I've referred to a few times in my videos, which is this nostalgic sense of sadness at the passing of time. And that's what I thought of when I first read this. Wyatt seems to be yearning for some kind of truth or sincerity or authenticity in his day-to-day life in every moment. So, and that's what he's talking about, I think, in this passage. I think just about how we need to be conscious and aware and present during each moment. So we'll see what you think. I'll try and do it justice. I'll probably sound like an idiot, but oh well, here we go. So it's New Year's, and Esther wants to go back to this party that they came from, and they're talking and they're kind of arguing, and as I said, trying to connect and understand each other. This is Esther. Well, my writing, for instance, I know it's nothing to you, but it is important to me. And what do you say? Partial to the word atavistic. All right, Esther, he said, and suddenly got his hand back from her. If all you can say is, and then here's Wyatt. All right, listen, I have ideas, but why should I oppress you with them? It's your work, and something like writing is very private, isn't it? How fragile situations are, but not tenuous, delicate, but not flimsy, not indulgent. Delicate, that's why they keep breaking. They must break, and you must get the pieces together and show it before it breaks again, or put them aside for a moment when something else breaks and turn to that. And all this keeps going on. That's why most writing now, if you read it, they go on 1, 2, 3, 4 and tell you what happened like newspaper accounts. No adjectives, no long sentences, no tricks they pretend, and they finally believe that they really believe that the way they saw it is the way it is. When really, what happened when they opened Mary Stuart's coffin? They found she'd taken 2 strokes of the blade. One slashed the nape of her neck and the second one took the head. But did any of the eyewitness accounts mention 2 strokes? No. It never takes your breath away, telling you things you already know, laying everything out flat, as though the terms and the time and the nature and the movement of everything were secrets of the same magnitude. They write for people who read with the surface of their minds, people with reading habits that make the smallest demands on them, people brought up reading for facts who know what's going to come next and want to know what's coming next and get angry at surprises. Clarity is essential, and detail. No fake mysticism. The facts are bad enough. But we're embarrassed for people who tell too much and tell it without surprise. How does he know what happened? Unless it's one unshaven man alone in a boat, changing I to he. And how often do you get a man alone in a boat in all this? Listen, there are so many delicate fixtures moving towards you. You'll see, like a man going into a dark room, holding his hands down, guarding his parts for fear of a table corner. And why, all this around us is for people who can keep their balance only in the light, where they move as though nothing were fragile, nothing tempered by possibility. And all of a sudden, bang, something breaks. Then you have to stop and put the pieces together again. But you can never put them back together quite the same way. You stop when you can and expose things and leave them within reach, and others come on them by themselves, and they break. And even then, you may put the pieces aside just out of reach until you can bring them back and show them, put together slightly different, maybe a little more enduring, until you've broken it and picked up the pieces enough times and you have the whole thing in all its dimensions. But the discipline, the detail, it's just sometimes the accumulation is too much to bear. So that was it. And yeah, I mean, I just loved it. And obviously the experience of you reading it yourself, I'm hoping will be more rewarding than me just bumbling on there. But as I said, hit me up if you ever want to chat about the recognitions. I'm excited to see your guys' reactions to it. I am just loving it right now. I'm going to slow down and take care. We'll talk soon.